Hi, these comments are for HBC, and you're one of my TOEFL speaking and writing bootcamp course students. And today I'm looking at an integrated writing practice test that you sent me. And as a TOEFL writing bootcamp course student, I will error correct two of your writing practice tests. This is the second practice test for me to error correct. After this, I will continue to read, evaluate, and score any writing practice tests you send me. I will simply not error correct them anymore because it is so time consuming. All right? Now, if you ever want any TOEFL lessons, if you go to bettertoeflscores.com, I do have TOEFL private lessons I'm offering. But if you want them, you better book them fast. I'm starting to fill up my schedule because in the summertime I have a lot more flexibility than in other parts of the year. So I'm basically teaching different students for about 4 hours each day, Monday through Friday. If you want to be one of these four students, you better let me know immediately. I can certainly spend about 4 to 5 hours every week helping you in person, face to face, if you want that type of individual instruction, or you can continue with the self study. That's also okay. Okay, so after I read your essay, I was thinking to myself, where would I score it? So from an organizational, an accuracy, and content standpoint, I think you're in the 4 range, but with your writing or your grammar skills, vocabulary, and so on, you're maybe in the 3 range. So I'm going to put you at about 3.5, 22 points out of 30 because of some of the language use issues. Okay, here we go. So here's what you wrote. The reading passage talks about strategies. See, this is a little bit awkward. I'm going to get rid of this. It talks about how to make businesses successful by encouraging employees to attend meetings, providing supplementary materials. How about providing workers supplementary reading materials? And finally, having employees write, I'm going to put reports or proposals. The speaker in the listening passage opposes, I would just say opposes these points, not opposes these 2 points. And the speaker, there's no need to capitalize that. And then we will put here we'll put in contrast. And I think that's okay there. That you're in pretty good shape there. Let's look at this second paragraph. If you say first in this paragraph, right, then we go to the next paragraph, I would say here second, and make those parallel. And finally is perfectly fine. So you can say first, second, and then finally. So first, the reading passage suggests that all the employees of the company should attend. I'm going to just put should attend meetings in order to discuss. Probably don't even have to say in order, just say to discuss. Get rid of about controversial issues or related with. No, just say controversial issues or current technology. So we want to use or to join 2 noun phrases. So controversial issues, current technology. On the other hand, the speaker, don't separate this subject with a comma. That's a big problem. On the other hand, the speaker contends that meetings should be limited without wasting employees' time. It looks like you want to make this plural, right? So we'll do that. We'll put the apostrophe at the end of the S to make it a plural possessive noun. Then we'll say instead, if it's mandatory to attend meetings, if I'm going to put employees are required to attend meetings longer than 1 hour, the speaker advises these employees to excuse themselves so that they continue other pertinent. I'm going to put business obligations because that's not what I said in the listening passage, right? You can't really make an excuse, or I can't attend this meeting, I need to get my hair cut. That's a personal obligation. But you say, well, I need to leave this meeting early because I need to take care of some emails to some clients. That's a whole nother situation. So that's why I'm changing that slightly. So instead, if employees are required to attend meetings longer than 1 hour, the speaker advises these employees to excuse themselves so that they can continue other pertinent business obligations. However, for necessary for necessary topics, employers are encouraged to schedule shorter meetings. And the speaker also proposes that meetings can be done via email or phone calls. To make more productive and effective use of employees' time, we might say. So you know what you're trying to say, but you can't always get it out exactly, accurately, completely, right? So those are some changes I would make to this paragraph. First, the reading passage suggests that all the employees of the company should attend meetings to discuss controversial issues or current technology. On the other hand, the speaker contends that meetings should be limited without wasting employees' time. Instead, if employees are required to attend meetings longer than 1 hour, the speaker advises these employees to excuse themselves so that they can continue other pertinent business obligations. However, for necessary topics, employers are encouraged to schedule shorter meetings, and the speaker also proposes that meetings can be done via email or phone calls to make more productive and effective use. Don't even have to say effective. To make more productive use of employees' time. Second, the author says, see what you did, doing it again. You can't put a comma directly after a subject. You cannot separate a subject from its verb. The author, comma, says. You can't do that. I can't say Michael, comma, is going shopping today. Can't do it. So be careful. That, to me, that's a pretty big problem because it creates, it makes it harder to read the sentence, right? So we have to be careful we're not separating certain grammatical elements in a sentence from other grammatical elements in those sentences. In this case, the subject and the verb. So second, the author says that in it, no. What if we say, I don't think we have to say in addition, right? We said second. That means we're adding to it. Second, the author says an employee should also means in addition, should also be offered with the supplementary reading materials focusing on major minor details which will improve employees' jobs efficiently. Let's make this a plural, not a singular possessive noun. So employees should be, I'm going to put required peruse, which means read, to peruse supplementary the most important. How about this? Employees should also be required to peruse the most important and supplementary reading materials professionals. How about this? Focus on both major and minor details, which will improve employees' jobs efficiently. Okay, I think we have it. Let's look at it one more time. Second, the author says that employees should also be required to peruse the most important and supplementary reading materials, hence making sure that these professionals focus on both major and minor details, which will improve employees' jobs efficiently. To this, the speaker suggests, no, the speaker, comma, suggests, don't do that. So you're making the same error over and over and over. But at least maybe after this video, you will stop putting a comma directly after the subject. But what about appositives and adjective clauses, Michael? Okay, well, if you do that, that's fine. You can put commas in those cases. Michael, comma, who teaches TOEFL, comma, has more than 35 years of teaching experience. So in that case, I put the comma after Michael, and then I used an adjective clause, and then after that, I have the main verb. Now that's possible. To make it more productive, yeah, we don't have to have that. To this, I'm going to get rid of to this and say, give me a transition word of contrast. Go to Google, TOEFL transition words. I have a really good lesson at Better TOEFL Scores that focuses on that. You can check that out. Conversely, the speaker suggests if you put that, you have to use a subject and a verb after it. But if you can say the speaker suggests not to read everything as it is a waste of time. And to make it more productive, employees can still go through those materials to get a big picture of the let's just say to get a bigger picture. Okay, I think we have it. And to make it more productive, employees can still go through those materials to get a bigger picture. The employees can still skim, I think is a better word there, which means to kind of read through something quickly. So employees can still skim through those materials to get a bigger picture. That's what I would say there. Okay, let's take a look at our final paragraph here. Finally, the author proposes that while writing any report or proposal, let's make this suggests so that we don't have proposes and proposal. The author suggests that while writing any report or proposal, you need a subject in there. This is a problem. So you have to kind of understand this complex sentence that you've written here, right? So we have the author suggests. That is the independent clause, the subject and the verb. But then you have that, right? So that means that is your connector, that employees don't need to follow all the steps to get it perfect, and it is time consuming, and instead they should write their documents all at once. So I'm using that to introduce employees and then don't need. Now, while is another subordinator which uses what's called a reduced adverb clause. It means while they write or while employees write any report, they don't need to follow. So that's good. I like how you did this here, but you still need to put this subject here. This is a problem. You cannot leave out important parts of the words in the sentences that you write, or that's going to really create big problems on your TOEFL writing score. So you have the author suggests that while writing any report or proposal, employees do not need to follow all of the steps of the writing process, I would put in there, to get it perfect, as it is time consuming, and instead they should write their documents all at once. Very good sentence here. Look at this. 42 words. Wow. However, the speaker counters back asserting that writing a report is more effective when the employees follow. Remember, employees is plural, the verb is plural. When the employees follow the steps of the writing process. For example, when the employee writes a memo, employees writes a memo, how about this, and insist that the memo be perfect, and keep moving at the same time. When the employee writes a memo and insists, YouTubers, Put in the comments below if I missed any grammatical errors. This is live. I'm sure I might miss something, so just put them in the comments below the video. Okay, when the employee writes a memo and insists that the memo be perfect by following the writing process steps, let's make this plural so we can just say they. How about they will have slow writing? Instead, the speaker suggests hold it, we have argues the author. Here, they will have slow writing. Instead, the speaker suggests them to write in steps. Writing an outline, I don't think we have this. Writing an outline. Notice how I have writing, we have making a rough draft, and finally, you really had a lot of serious parallel structure issues here, unfortunately. Writing an outline, making a rough draft, and finally going back and revising documents for perfect phrasing. You can put here a process that leads to complete, accurate, and faster writing, you might say. To sum up, the speaker recommends the different strategies which make a business successful. All of which goes contrary to what the author in the reading passage recommends. You might say something like that. Right, so that's kind of why I'm giving you that score. So I have to throw things in there. I have to change a few things, correct the grammar errors, up to make things a little bit more accurate. So that's why you're at 22 out of 30 points. I think you understand how to organize the writing, but you just have to, as you practice, you will get better at organizing, developing, and polishing your writing. And how many words do we have here? Let me see what we have. $369 words, that's pretty good. Okay, let's read it one more time. So the reading passage talks about how to make any businesses successful. Let's get rid of any. So how to make businesses successful by encouraging employees to attend meetings, providing workers with supplementary materials, and finally having employees write reports or proposals. In contrast, the speaker in the listening passage opposes these points. First, the reading passage suggests that all the employees of the company should attend meetings to discuss controversial issues or current technology. On the other hand, the speaker contends that meetings should be limited without wasting employees' time. Instead, if employees are required to attend meetings longer than 1 hour, the speaker advises these employees to excuse themselves so that they can continue other pertinent business obligations. However, for necessary topics, employers are encouraged to schedule shorter meetings, and the speaker also proposes that meetings can be done via email or phone calls to make more productive use of employees' time. Second, the author says that employees should also be required to peruse the most important and supplementary reading materials, hence making sure that these professionals focus on, how about reading the major and minor details which will improve employees' jobs efficiently. Conversely, the speaker suggests not to read everything, as it is a waste of time, and to make it more productive, employees can still skim through those materials to get a bigger picture. Finally, the author suggests that while writing any report or proposal, employees don't need to follow all the steps of the writing process to get it perfect, as it is time consuming, and instead they should write their documents all at once. However, the speaker counters back, asserting that writing a report is more effective when the employees follow the steps of the writing process. For example, when the employees write a memo and insist that the memo be perfect by following the writing process steps, argues the author, they will have slow writing. This doesn't need to be here. If we need to use it at all, yeah, we could probably put it right there. Yeah, let's keep the information that belongs to the author, put that in the same part of the paragraph, and then whatever information belongs to the lecture, kind of juxtapose that together in its own area. So here we have everything from the reading passage here, and then we use however, everything from the listening is over here. Let's change this so we don't have the same word of contrast each time. How about okay, let's look at this paragraph one more time. Let's make sure we have it. Finally, the author suggests that while writing any report or proposal, employees don't need to follow all the steps of the writing process to get it perfect, as it is time consuming. And instead, they should write their documents all at once. For example, when the employees write a memo and insist that the memo be perfect by following the writing process steps, argues the author, they'll have slow writing. On the other hand, the speaker counters back, asserting that writing a report is more effective when the employees follow the steps of the writing process. Instead, the speaker suggests them to write in steps, writing an outline, making a rough draft, and finally going back and revising documents for perfect phrasing. A process, how about get rid of that, make it even more advanced here. How about a process leading to complete, accurate, and faster writing? To sum up, the speaker recommends the different strategies which make a business successful, all which go contrary to what the author in the reading passage recommends. Now the question is, your score is 22. You probably want to get at least 25 or 26 or above 24 for sure, right? So what can you do right now? What are some specific things that you can do to improve your writing, right? Based on my analysis of what you wrote right now. That's kind of where we are. Right? So the first thing, I actually have my online course here. So let's take a look at it. So let's go into vocabulary. I'm not going to make any main recommendations there. I think you're okay there. You have some things to work on from the independent writing, right? Okay, I think lesson 4, using sentences with the positives, that can be very effective in this type of writing. What else here? Parallel structure, lesson 14, that's a problem for you right now. You can check that one out. Lesson 21, prepositions. I think that's a good lesson for you. Lesson 26, sentence variety. Being more concise, yes. Study that one. Lesson 27, lesson 28, when to use commas. You have not figured that out yet. So you got to work on that still. Okay, now let's go to the writing part of my course. Let's see if there's anything in there in the integrated writing you need to work on. Let's see what stands out in my mind right now. I think lesson 12.2, paraphrasing with voice markers. Check out that lesson. That's a good lesson for you right now. And I'm going to say lesson 9, TOEFL integrated writing strategies, but I know that's a massive lesson there. You can review that one and look at that, but generally you know how to organize your ideas, right? So you understand, I get that, but you have these language use problems that are getting in the way that are going to drive down your score. So my best advice right now is, obviously review those lessons, but don't give up. Keep sending me speaking practice. That's what you want to do. That's why you join this course. So keep doing independent and integrated speaking practice. As you do this, you'll develop an ability to write faster with even more development with a better polish. So that's the main thing. Keep practicing. Now, at this point, if you want any more error corrections, this will be an additional cost, unfortunately. But if you do want any more error corrections, let me know. I have a link in my website I can send you to, and you can make that payment. Okay? And thank you for completing this integrated writing practice test.